finger guns.
All right, thank you. So, yeah, those of you who are following our doings will know that we had a fundraising event. We were auctioning off drama, and the auction was a huge success. I want to thank everyone who helped to promote it or who bid on it. That's great. But there are a couple of results to announce because part of the prizes were some draws for things. So we are doing some art. So we've drawn 3 names from the hat. Congratulations to Michael Brackets, the model railway man, and Lou and Liam, who'll be getting art of something. I don't know who decides what the art is. I think that Izzy and Bree decide what the art is, and you just get art. I can't remember if we said it's art of your choice. If it's art of your choice, then great.
Feel free to drop us a line with your thoughts.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. And the other thing we were drawing was playing in a trash shot, and we have 4 people that we're going to invite to play in a trash shot. But we will get in touch with them, and it will be a surprise. But look out for a trash shot. We don't even know who's running it. We don't know what it is, but we do know who we're going to be inviting to play. And they're all great people, and you should watch it, whoever it is, wherever it is, whenever it is, and whatever it is. But I know none of that. So as you can see, there are a diminished number of us this week.
That number is right there, Sable, my darling Sable, my good buddy Sable. I want to say that this auction has been a lot of fun and a tremendous success. And everyone who's been involved with it has just utterly brightened my day. And of course, we want to thank you, the delightful Trash Fam, who really got engaged and involved and sent in your thoughts and your ideas. But also, this was the brainchild of Sable Whisper, who came to us and said, I've got all these things in my game. Because being a GM, as I'm sure many of you know, you can get very precious about the themes and issues of your game. And he was willing to put on the line things like the identities of our potential friend or nemesis, and the function of frightening doors and orbs, and all that stuff could have gone completely off the rails. All the doors and orbs. So I want to say trash bags in the chat for Sable Whisper, who has been who came to us with a big bold idea and who really knocked it out of the park.
That's great. So thank you for that. That was nice. But I hate attention, so let's get back to this game I run.
So instead, just talk about yourselves.
So as I was saying, we've got a bit of a diminished number of people in the game. That's okay. We're going to plug on anyway. But that does afford me a certain amount of time to cover something that I was going to cover in the first session, but didn't, because, well, that one would have overrun. In fact, we're sort of doing the tail end of that session at the beginning of this session. But first of all, there's some bits about that I've wanted to cover and that my players agreed that I was allowed to say, because I kicked and screamed a bit about running this particular setting, but they convinced me to do so and allowed me to talk about it. I think it's important that we do. This bit's going to get cut from the YouTube video because I'm going to do a proper one for YouTube and talk about it properly. But just for those of you who are watching, I'm not going to keep you for long, but it's important we talk about the Victorian thing. We knew that we wanted to run in Victorian London before we picked Blades in the Dark. And those of you who know Blades in the Dark know that it comes with its own canonical setting, which is very much Victorian inspired, but is not in any way or in any sense Victorian. It just has some of those aesthetics. We decided we want to run in Victorian London, and it's Victorian London, which means there's some real world nastiness that's baked right into the setting. Class oppression, racism, sexism, relationships between gay men are still criminalized. Child labor is essential to the economy, and hundreds of other things that if I were building my own setting, I wouldn't include. One of the side effects of that is that you will, the player characters might express ideas that the players are not sympathetic to, such as the inherent good impact of the British Empire upon the world and the inherent justice of having an aristocracy or a monarchy. I think some of these things goes without saying, but I've also learned that it's 2020. Nothing goes without saying, and it costs me nothing to say it, except for people who I don't care if they like my stuff anyway. So it's kind of ties a bow on itself, if I'm being completely honest. That was me speaking, not the trash crew. But yeah, if you're a racist, I don't want you watching our stuff. So if you're a racist, fuck off.
There's the door. Please leave.
Middle fingers in the chat for all the racists.
Don't look at my face.
Don't look at our faces. You are not allowed to use our images in your brains, and we will be sending copyright strikes into your brains to stop that from happening. The thing that most has sort of concerned me is that obviously as the antagonists and as the entire rest of the population of Victorian London, I don't mind being vampires, and I don't mind being necromancers, and I don't mind being all these sorts of awful things, but I am also going to have to be things that are real world things that are monstrous and reconstructed and bad. So forgive me for that, but I am going to have to play the sorts of people that I don't want to play. That's fine. That's always the case. But because it's a historical setting, we have decided that we don't want to whitewash history. Because we've decided to run, it's a fancy version of historical setting. There is magic and so forth and so on, but it is as close as possible to historical setting. We're not going to revel in it. We're not going to glory in it. You're certainly not going to hear us busting out any creative 19th century slurs. And running in a historical setting, I'm aware, is often a bit of a red flag, because you think the reason you've picked a historical setting is so you can replicate historical injustices. That's not really what we're trying to do, but we feel that ignoring those injustices and just putting on a top hat and ignoring the fact that top hat was made in a factory by a 6-year-old probably isn't the best idea. We did decide not to run Curse of Strahd, and one of the things we were going to change about Curse of Strahd was some of the racial representation that was in it. But I think it's really important to distinguish between what this historical setting is and what Curse of Strahd is. In Curse of Strahd, you had real-world prejudices replicated and justified. The big example in Curse of Strahd is the Vistani, who are an itinerant ethnic group. And it is, in the setting of Curse of Strahd, absolutely justified to fear the Vistani. Why? Well, they are evil, they do work for a vampire, and they have nasty witch powers. But in real life itinerant people such as the Romani face prejudice every day. They are not evil, they are not in the thrall of vampires, and they don't walk around cursing people. So what you've got is a setting where a real world prejudice is replicated, but then it's justified. And in the real world, it's not justified at all. It comes from a place of ignorance and malice. Here, there's going to be some nasty stuff. It's woven into the fabric of Victorian society. And I personally believe you can't depict Victorian society and treat these elements as optional. They simply aren't. You can't have a British Empire without the exploitation of foreign populations. And you cannot have the massive economic boom of this era of Britain without a working class that is being trampled. That is, as far as I'm concerned, simply a fact that one learns through reading history. And the last thing I'll say before we move on is that I appreciate that not everyone wants to watch real-world injustices being replicated in their entertainment. I hope you will trust that we are not doing it to, as I say, glory in these things. We're not interested in making light of them, and we're not really going to overemphasize them. This is a game about killing vampires and evil wizards and things like that. It's not a game about toppling an unjust regime. That's a very cool idea for a game, but it's not what this game is about. So please bear with us, and like we respect that in being dedicated, not whitewashing, we are potentially towing a line that we might occasionally put a toe over and maybe depict things more or less than we want to. But we're not here to present a documentary. Neither are we here to say, hey, the Victorians weren't that bad after all. Victorian London was a pit. So thank you for letting me do that. I'll write a proper scripted version of that for YouTube so it sounds coherent. But thank you for letting me do that. So yeah, we ended last session prematurely. We covered some of the downtime stuff, but we didn't cover character downtime. So as I recall, we have done your payoff and heat and things like that, which Izzy, I know you recorded in the crew sheet. But now we're going to just cover a couple of extra things. Some things have changed. It's been about 6 weeks since we ran. Wait, that can't be right. Month since we ran. So time has no meaning in 2020, does it? So there are a couple of things that I've had to think about that I'm just going to revise a little bit. Fortunately, it is within the spirit of the Blaze in the Dark system to do that. So you have. I've created a new kind of resource called a lead. A lead is essentially it's like the word asset, but it's a thing that you found that might be of interest to you, that might warrant further investigation, usually with a long-term project, which is a kind of downtime action. In this case, you have leads. Essentially, the lead is Sydney Weller's crap, which includes his account books, some of his account books. I think you brought 2 or 3 of his account books, and his Shadow brought back his strongbox. And you're going to try to find out, that he has business at a bank. Did you find a key for a safe deposit box as well? Yeah. So you don't know what the bank is, but he has a box somewhere. You're going to try and find out where that is because you think that there might be a list of the people he's been selling children to. And we want to find out those people because first of all, they're definitely wizards of some sort or another. And most importantly, they're definitely experimenting on people, which you shouldn't do by and large. So let's do some character experience before we go into downtime. So each of you, well, we'll do it one by one just so you can get used to the idea. Let's start with Mr. Spider, since you're the first face I saw when I looked up. Each of you has an experience trigger that comes from your playbook. So in the case of Spider, it's something like solve a problem through contact or conspiracy. Did you address a challenge in the story through contact and conspiracy? If so, get an experience point. There's a similar. You all have these ones, but I'll read the universal ones. Did you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background, in which case take an experience point? Did you struggle with issues resulting from your vice or traumas, in which case give yourself an experience point? And we did do, when we do, what are they called? Forgotten the name of the thing. The roles, difficult roles, whatever they're called. Whenever you do those, desperate. Yeah, whenever you roll under desperate circumstances, you should mark an XP. You can mark those XPs on a character track. These ones, however, your playbook, your background stuff, or your vice or trauma, you can choose to mark those either on your character experience point track, or you can mark them on an attribute experience point track to focus on leveling that up. When you fill up your an attribute, then you get to put another rank into one of the actions that falls under that attribute. And when you fill up your character bar, you get to take an advance, which among other things unlocks another special ability. So yeah, I'll let you all sort of do that accounting there. I don't think there's not really much of a mechanism for
What happened?
We've lost Izzy.
That is bizarre. That is a strange thing to lose. There's not really a mechanism for the GM going, no, you're not allowed that. If you think you've done those things, then it's up to you. I'm not going to say, I don't think you did it enough for me.
But I don't have to put, say, if I address the challenge with deception or in influence, I can put it either into playbook advancement or I could put it into prowess.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. You can put that. The only one I think that you have to put into character, I may be wrong about this, I think is the desperate action, which goes straight into character. But that might be wrong, and I don't really care. So you can put that experience point anywhere as well.
Well, I didn't roll anything desperate, so.
I don't know if there was anything desperate last time. Possibly in the fight against. There might have been actually from Hound might have done, because Hound was pinned against the wall by whatever it was, Madam Whisper was. So that's entirely possible. So yeah, think about that. I don't think any of you are in much danger of taking advantage yet, but
No, I addressed my challenge with violence and coercion.
yes, you did. You addressed the challenge of
the 80-year-old
the
man.
frail old man.
The thing is, this is going to become a running joke now. It's very important that everyone watching who didn't watch the first event understand that yes, Bree's character did murder an elderly man, but he very, very much deserved it. So we shouldn't feel sorry for Sydney Weller. Everything that's happened and indeed may well yet happen to him is very much deserved.
Still,
also I definitely addressed the challenge with deception or an influence.
You did. You met those two
creepy cultists.
What do you call them? Did you call them dapper cultists or something?
Something like that. I'm sure I was hilarious.
Yeah, absolutely.
Still. I think that was it, because I have 1 XP marked from that first boat session, and then I put one, I think, from last time when we were talking about it. I was like, oh yeah, I did, murder a dude, so I just put it in my playbook advancement.
Yeah,
but then you get XP for 2 sessions because you did 2 sessions prior to play.
Oh, you get one every time you do a session.
If you you might have earned it on our pre-play sessions. We had 2, one in which we lost a boat, and a second which Bree was at, in which the boat was apparently recovered. So I'm saying that's one of the ones you've marked might have been from that second session.
We did recover our boat. I feel like at some point, what do we do about it? We don't just like magically have a boat now. Timey-wimey.
No, well, that didn't happen, and none of that has happened yet.
But like it will at some point. We'd be like, oh, that's when that did, and we'll like.
We'll flash back to those YouTube videos.
Yeah, because.
But we keep the XP. That's the X. Just don't worry about that. Don't worry about why we have it. You've just been awesome in the past, and you have XP.
It's timey-wimey.
I haven't been awesome yet, but we flashback all the time in this game, so it's fine. I'll be cool later.
Zedicus Crow in the chat makes the point that the villains being old rich men is probably on point for the Victorian setting anyway. So yeah.
So like, I'm probably going to do the murder of old frail white men a few more times before this is over.
It's I imagine some of them will be less frail. But yeah, absolutely. That guy was just a guy. He was just an old guy
who sold kids
to wizards. I know he was definitely the worst, but what I mean by just a guy was he wasn't like a vampire.
Not yet. You don't know.
No,
I mean you do know. I guess you're the one person who would know.
I know that he wasn't, and yet doesn't really apply to him anymore. He's definitely gone now. You have sent him to the cold embrace of Daddy Satan.
Oh no! What did we do?
No,
no. I went with Mr. Hound.
Was the phrase "Daddy Satan" too much?
Yes, it was.
Okay,
the cold embrace of Daddy Satan. No.
I'm sorry, I've already got a Daddy Satan ooh-woo from the chat, so Daddy Satan is now a thing.
This is what I was trying to save us from.
It's too late. It's too late.
Yeah, too late. So no sign of Izzy yet. So that's okay. Should we move on to some character downtime then? So we're going to meet some new characters today, because there are some player characters who we have not yet met. Are there not? Like, looking at me like, what is he talking about?
Intrigue and confusion. I didn't make an overlay for an extra character. So
yeah, I've got 3 characters. I hope your layout is ready to suddenly accommodate.
It is not.
No, I didn't somehow think it was. No, the new characters I meant are actually your unmasked selves.
Oh.
So there isn't, in a sense,
now I get it,
downtime for Mr. Slide, but there is downtime for. Are you an honourable? But anyway,
I think it'll be honourable. I need to check. You've raised this now.
For very possibly the Honourable Christopher Wick.
Yes, honourable.
The Honourable Christopher Wick. So downtime happens in again, as many things do, in a timey-wimey sense. you have two downtime actions by default. You may purchase a third with either coin or reputation. But I think for the time being, you don't need to do that just yet. You can, but you do not need to. So yeah, the Honourable Christopher Wick, what are you doing betwixt missions?
One of the simple ones is the Honourable Christopher Wick would like to do some training because he can, and we have that sweet, sweet hideout bonus.
You do, yes.
Some prowess, and also after having had a bit of a tumble with, you know, a freaking vampire, where the old fencing skills had to be brought to bear, which was all a bit much. He would like to spend one of his things doing some prowess training, which will probably be all around the guise of, for the moment, mostly just familiarizing himself with the vast array of weaponry we now have available, and figuring out how it all works and how he can be better with it, and realizing, oh no, I'm generally lived a fairly... the active life of the very indulgent, in which sometimes you need to run away from problems. But it might be worth getting a bit fitter than just going down to the gentleman's club and having a bit of evening fencing and running away from problems. Aha!
And is he?
My fucking laptop.
Yeah, and of course, because you have upgrades at your lair, you may take 2 experience points in your prowess track for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm fixing it. Zoom did an oops.
An oopsie whoopsie.
I miss Mr. Slide being dashing and...
No, Mr. Slide is doing nothing, but the Honourable Christopher Wick has been training, has been reacquainting himself with his boyhood fencing, and realizing that maybe if you're going to be knocking off vampires, you should be familiar with the weight of the blade, and has been familiarizing himself with the weight of the blade.
And all of the blades and toys.
Oh yes,
have.
there are. Yes. There are, of course, there are throwing knives. There's definitely a Bowie knife or two kicking around. That sort of thing.
So he has been being dashing, and I miss...
It's moderately dashing. Yeah, he's got the padded
a bit
waistcoat.
ruddy right now, really.
Yeah, I don't know if it's dashing yet, but certainly it's vigorous.
Pre-dashing. He would like to someday be dashing, and knows that if you get it's not a good thing.
My heart is character building. I like it.
Montage.
Yes. Yeah, and that is a good point. The Bowie knife is the classic vampire killing weapon. I think that is the weapon that was used to kill Dracula. So there we go. A fun fact for you. So you have a second downtime action.
Yes, I suppose it may or may not count as a long-term project. Essentially, and it's not useful to any of the plot threads that we're pursuing. I leave that shit to Mr. Spider. Like, if Mr. Spider wants me to do stuff, I'll do it. But however, he would like to check up on, and I've realized now what I've done with Kit, little buddy Kit. As he wants to make sure not just that his good friend John Ripley, who runs that very fine establishment, whose name I'm sure I've written down somewhere, can take care of Kit, but also Kit was about to, he thought become apprenticed to a shop owner and get onto some good prospects. That is still a better prospect than becoming a pub boy. And no disrespect meant to good old John. He's done his best, but Mr. Wick would like to frankly ensure that Kit is going to get the best chance possible. If not from John, then from someone else that Christopher Wick knows.
Yeah, I think essentially you want to make sure that he's spending some time learning how to do the books just as much as he's hooking up taps to barrels.
Yes, and if John genuinely doesn't have a place for him, then Christopher is going to talk to his good buddy from his club, Henry Brooks, to see whether or not Henry Brooks, lad about town, former member of the diplomatic service, and thus fairly well-acquainted guy who also won't ask too many questions, because Christopher will be like, I had a party and now there's a child. Don't ask too many questions. He just needs some taken care of. Can maybe just get him a decent, just a place with prospects for a young lad.
I mean, I don't mean to put too fine a point on it, but you are yourselves the joint owners of an establishment.
Yes, that's true.
It is a closed establishment.
We don't have any staff yet, and we can't yet pay him.
You can't pay him out of the profits of the place, but
that is a good point. Which actually, from that view, then Christopher would probably look for, if not staying with John, then maybe something at the Travelers Club for young Kit to get appropriate experience, where maybe at some point he can be brought in.
I like that a lot. So you're going to take him to Mr. Brooks at the Travelers Club. Good. Okay. Yeah. Well, I think that. I think it's not difficult for you to come to an understanding that you've taken an interest in this boy.
Yes.
And that you don't have a position for him yet, but you're looking into some business affairs of your own, and the time might come. But until then, you understand that he's, he has unfortunately his previous employer has died, but he, Kit was learning the ways of numeracy, and
yes, it's good luck. And also, someday, Henry, I'm pretty sure someday, Henry, we're going to end up with our own club, and it's going to be fabulous. But I mean, a small child is not necessarily the biggest of investments, but I figure that if he learns the ropes here, and then he knows, to whom he owes a little bit of loyalty, it's always useful to have such lads about.
Oh, I see. I take all the liability of training the young buck, and you whisk him away as soon as he's worth more than a farthing. Is that it?
Well, I think that this will be a reciprocal relationship, I have no doubt, Henry. You trust me, surely.
I certainly know you very well. Very well, yes. Yes.
Thanks, Hen. Knew I could trust you.
Not at all, Christopher, not at all. Please help yourself to a drink.
Oh, I will.
Yeah, no, good. I like that. You're getting him trained in the ways of the private members club. And eventually, I'm sure Mr. Slide will Christopher will eventually look into how can we open this as a business. Oh God, this club is going to become what to Mr. Slide, what the Rooks are to fucking Jacob Fry. I can open a club. We're going to hunt vampires, Mr. Slide. There'll be a club. Well, look, okay, fine, but it works. That's all great, and I'm glad you've done that. But I don't think that's going to consume a downtime action, because that doesn't give you any direct immediate benefits. So you can relieve some stress. You can do more training as long as it's not prowess. Oh, okay, I'll do some training then, in which case I don't want to relieve stress. I only have 2 stress, and that sounds like the dice will... Yeah, I don't fancy my odds there. Yes, it might be worth building up a little more stress. So, in which case, I would like to do some resolve training, and I'll consider schmoozing my way to getting this kid some progress as part of that. And that's resolve training. Excellent, fantastic. All right, thank you very much, Mr. Wick. Let us move on then from Mr. Christopher Wick to Mr. Nathaniel Breaker. Hello, Mr. Nathaniel Breaker, known in some circles as Mr. Spider.
Yeah.
What downtime have you?
I know you have almost certainly just said this to Kath, but is it just prowess that we get from our hideout, or is it a specific sub thing of prowess?
No, it's prowess because you can only put experience points into the attribute, and then when it raises, you choose where the dot goes. So it's prowess represented in this case by things like training dummies and weapons and fighting manuals and things like that. So obviously, there are uses of finesse, particularly, that aren't necessarily combat related. For example, most of you will tend to use Tinker to pick a lock, but Shadow might use finesse instead.
Then I imagine the image of Mr. Spider will be leveling up at the clubhouse, hands taped up, and he will be I think going to town on some sort of, heavy horsehair stuffed practice dummy, in the way that any sort of public school boy will have had to do a bit of boxing at school. His physique has never been superb, so I think he is sort of mostly doing that thing you do where you go, I'm going to continually punch this thing because it will make me stronger and tougher, and I'm still terrified by the violence that I was involved in. Oh god.
Yeah, I think it is worth generally considering that although what defines you all, of course, is that you've had some sort of experience that has left you in no doubt that there is a supernatural world, you were within mere feet of Madam Whisper and whatever she was, and that you are continuing in this endeavor is a mark of bravery.
And I think since we all saw Mr. Hound's, well, we all heard Mr. Hound's ribs crack.
Hmm.
And I think every single one of us sort of thinks that when we're doing our prowess training of just be tougher, don't get broken ribs, be tougher, don't die. So I think that's probably what Mr. Spider's doing.
But again, you're just leveling up prowess.
Oh yeah.
So you take 2 experience points in prowess because of the layers expert prowess gear. There's some speculation about what the gentleman stranger's secret base is called. The stranger lair is one thing, but I think it's really simply called the gentleman cave.
Get out. No.
No? All right.
Enough of you. Are you
I'll
kidding me?
I'll add that to Daddy Satan on the list of things I mustn't say.
What?
Okay.
Who let
Mr.
this
Blake.
guy into our stream? What is this?
Brie, you unironically called me Daddy yesterday.
Look, how dare you air our private relationship out into the internet?
It's worth putting a disclaimer on that. Sort of apropos of nothing. I think I was trying to tell you about a game pitch I had, and you just jumped into the chat with. It was I think you said it, and then immediately your next point was, nope, I don't like that. In the middle of the night. Well, I didn't know what to do with myself.
No. Oh dear. Right, Mr. Breaker. A second downtime action is yours.
Something
I'm crying.
following a lead. Yeah, I think Mr. Breaker looked at the sort of various documents and books and just went, well, that's going to be a lot of unpicking.
All right. So it's you're focusing on the books. Yeah, make me so this is going to be several long-term projects.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interpreting this as going to be essentially a series of clocks of varying lengths, and when you complete them, you'll get the next stage of the investigation. Sure, there are more elegant ways of doing it with just one very long clock, but I don't find that very satisfying. So we'll give you a 6-segment clock for the first stage of the investigation. So roll study, please.
Yay! Study. Don't know where that came from. Okay, so I want to give me just a hot second.
While you take a minute to sneeze.
Might literally be
The exact context, just because the chat has dirty minds, is Izzy was saying, may I pitch you some concepts for game ideas? And I said, I am... I can't tell. Can I tell them this?
Now that you're reviewing it, it's actually less good than you thought it was.
Okay. No, I just said, I am your willing clay. Mold me, daddy. And then, no, I don't like it.
That's your defense?
What? I am your willing clay. Mold me, daddy.
And it's in all caps.
That was, you're like, no, excuse me, I feel I need to raise more attention to this situation after I'm allegedly called Izzy Daddy. No, I think I need to explain.
It made it worse.
Why did you think you needed to explain?
I thought it was worse in the chat, and then I read it and realized it was
No.
worse in the other chat.
I'm gonna hand you a
Brie.
pamphlet.
The thing is, Brie, I know you, and I knew it was worse than you thought it was. And as soon as you set yourself on the path of explaining it, I thought, oh no, Brie's going to cancel herself. There's no way to stop this because it's definitely worse than you think it is. That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, like
Hold me, Daddy.
I tried my best in this situation to make it less filthy.
Look,
But like,
I would like
My
to very
bad.
quickly move on to.
oh yeah, you need that roll from me.
Your
I'm sorry,
roll.
I was sucked in by all this.
Yeah, no, we're all very startled.
I really thought I was doing good. No.
You're doing good. It's just unsettling. What's my position?
Ordinary.
Controlled?
Yeah, it's a control position. There's no risk involved here. Standard effect.
Bonus dice?
No.
3 and a 2.
Okay, a 3 is a failure. I'm just not going to advance the clock.
Oh, my clock.
1 second, buddy.
Nothing particularly exciting happens. You just don't advance
3, you better leave.
your project clock. I'm going to add you a clock. Called Weller's Books. There we go. Okay, great. Thank you very much, Mr. Breaker, civil servant. And now we leave you and move on to Miss Ravati Kapoor, who is known in certain circles, of course, as Mr. Cutter. Miss Kapoor, what do you wish to achieve this downtime?
Well, seeing as how I wildly misunderstood what downtime is until right now when everyone else did their things, I only have 3 stress, and I feel like I'm not sure I want to get rid of it because of what can happen if you roll too much. And I only have 1 abdominal bruise, which for her is like a Tuesday, you know.
You could get rid of it.
Your poor abdomen.
My poor abdomen.
Well, so I think three stress isn't nothing.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get rid of it. I'm okay as a person, right? She just murdered a dude. He was a bad dude, sure, but it was still a murder.
It was still your first murder.
Yeah, I feel like that's enough to be like, okay, nope.
So is it off to the fighting pit for you?
Yes, it is. I need to be a person. I need to know that I exist. Off to the fighting pits with us.
You're off the fighting pit. Well, to relieve stress, then you roll your worst attribute.
Oh, what does that mean?
In this case, it means your insight,
So I
which you only have 1 die.
So no bonus dice? Oh wait, I don't know how this works. I push insight.
Well, you can't push yourself to reduce stress.
Because no. So just roll it like it is. I think. Hey, look at that! I got 3.
What did you get? You got a 3 exactly. Well, that's the best result for you. You clear all your stress and you don't overindulge.
Look. So I just feel like that looks like she's completely in this zone, right? Just like zoning out and like, who am I fighting? I'm fighting somebody. I don't even care who. And just like wailing on them, and then halfway through stopping and just getting wailed on, and then just being like, okay, that's enough of that, and then leaving.
Yeah, I think there comes a moment where you're in the midst of a fight and you're getting into the flow of it, and you manage to deliver a punch to the gut, and you hear, it's not a rib cracking, but you hear a sound that just flashes you back for a moment to that sound when Mr. Weller stopped existing, And that's when you sort of you go, okay, I need to step back from this, and
Yeah. Then
withdraw from the fighting pit, and you manage to control yourself, and you have a second downtime action. You could heal that abdominal bruise. You could do some training.
I want to go do training.
Okay, what would you like to train?
More. I think at this point, more punching. More
Okay.
just practicing with the weapons that are in the lair. Getting more familiar with the practice dummies that I'm sure exist.
They do indeed. They do indeed. So yeah, please mark 2 experience in prowess.
Yeah, just this was a harrowing time. I feel like I need my abdominal bruises to remind me that I'm a person at this just right now.
So some of you might have coin. I'm not sure if any of you individually do.
I do.
I think Spider has some. You can spend that on things if you want, or just save it up. You can carry up to 4 coin.
I don't remember if I have coin.
I don't think I can't see any on your sheet.
I think it was like group coin, and then we didn't make a decision, and it's fine. It can just stay in our vault.
You just will have to. Your strong box back at the gentleman cave can only hold 4 coin, until you upgrade it.
Okay.
So at some point your coin will need to be spent, but of course if you've got nothing to spend it on, that's fine. You do find among the things in the cellar a pack of very nice, very artful calling cards that announce that a place has been visited by the gentlemen strangers, and that is indeed the term that Madam Whisper used to refer to you all before you also murdered her. They appear to be brand new, and I imagine you each pop with a few just in case. There is a letter among the things. It says, regarding the crows, to summon the others, take but a small scrap of paper, write only Fitzroy or Aventine, and in return, of course, answer your own summons as soon as you're able. The birds will take care of themselves, but on each new moon, you must place a live rabbit or rat in their coop. This will suffice. Not quite sure what that means until one of you goes up onto the roof of your building, where you find coops holding several large crows. Each of the hutches has a name scratched into the wood, your mask names, of course.
That's super cool.
I think we can conclude that this whole rabbit or rat affair sounds like a job for Mr. Hound to me.
Yes.
Mr. Hound and his new
Spider, you're muted.
His newly named dog.
Still, they're very handsome birds.
Aren't crows actually massive? I've never seen one.
Ravens are massive. These are only crows, but these are oddly hench crows, and the moonlight catches their eyes, and there's an alarming blood red dot at the back of each of their eyes. You're not quite sure you feel all that comfortable with.
Oh.
I feel like we should make friends with them.
Well, if they're going to be swooping in at my damn window, then...
Like, leave some offerings. Like, oh, I found some. What do crows eat? Look at these
Apparently
worms I found.
A rabbit or a rat at the new moon.
Okay.
Apparently it's what they eat.
The timing and the stipulation of live is a little circumspect.
Magical crows is not the worst or strangest thing that's happened.
No, but it certainly ranks up, sir.
Look, my rankings in terms of oddities, it's probably still number 3, but there isn't really a number 4.
What's number 2?
Well, there's a sort of definitely Madam Whisper is number one.
Completely.
And then, well, you know, I had a bit of a strange experience before Madam Whisper got in touch.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Very strange. Weirder than crows, anyway.
Well, perhaps at some point we should have to compare rankings.
I'll wait until I think... I was going to say, it sounds pessimistic to say, I'll wait until more strange things have happened, so I have a slightly more engaging set of rankings. And actually, that is definitely going to happen, considering our lifestyle. Jolly more exciting than the average day, anyway.
Yes. Quite.
Well, Mr. Hound can provide.
Mr. Hound is no doubt going to find out if what sort of animals do and do not work. I imagine he'll bring along a pigeon from time to time.
That's a Mr. Hound problem. That's for third class to sort out.
That is for third class. And yeah, to be honest, the fate of these animals is actually unknown to you. You sort of pop them in the coop, when you come back any amount of time later, all you have are these sort of desiccated pellets. It's not quite clear what's happened, but does it need to be? Some things are best left to the imagination.
I definitely do not think about it.
No.
It is being dealt with by staff.
Do not ask the crows questions to which they have no answers, is the policy. But no, these crows are your way of getting in touch, because of course you don't know who each other are. You have no way of reaching each other. But you will shortly find out that the crows know where you live, as Madam Whisper did. And they are able to deliver your summons. And that is how you will stay in touch for the time being. That's it for downtime, I think. Should we BRB so we can swap things around, get a drink?
I am going to have to bounce, lovely people. I have a dinner date with my dear partner before I leave town forever. So that's kind of important. And I tried to get some reservation on different evenings, and the restaurant said, fuck you.
That seems reasonable, yes.
That's terrible customer service. But yes, have a good heist. Try to come back with your lives and XP and gold.
Okay.
You'll just get one of the crows show up at your window next session, just going, "Whoops."
All right, I think we'll try and be back in the next 10-15 minutes or so. Not a very long break, but long enough for me to get a cup of tea.
Cup of tea.
Sounds good. Okay. Bye. Hi, it's us. This was the you transition, and then no one did it. I did it. We're live. We should be live. Everyone should be hearing me.
Good. That's great. That's fantastic.
You know.
And I didn't. I love getting counted in. All right, okay.
I don't count. I'm sorry. I'm chaotic.
You could. What about naming 3 things? Any 3 things, I'll know the third thing is the thing. Candlestick, cup, pigeon, and I'll know. You know.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So, or any 3 words: mold, me.
Shut. Oh my god! I really thought I was making that better. Like
No.
I really
Or
did.
better in some ways.
I thought I was helping.
No, you weren't helping
In
yourself.
what?
No.
The gay agenda?
So this is a miscellaneous amount of time later, and Mr. Spider and Mr. Cutter, you have donned the colours, and you have gone to Aventine, not with any particular reason. You've not met up deliberately, but you've decided to go and mingle with these sorts of crowds, get to know these sorts of people. And you know that there is work to be done. Maybe you'll hear about something and be able to signal the others. Anyway, the 2 of you have spotted each other and you've been having a drink. Do the 2 of you have anything to talk about?
Yes.
Brilliant.
Okay. I imagine we're sitting at our table, right? Where's our table again? Do you remember? Where is it?
In a secluded corner.
Yes.
Okay. So Mr. Cutter is definitely in the corner of the corner. Like, I think no drink, just some kind of tea. It might just be water. I don't know what kind of place this is. Maybe next time I'll have to bring my own tea and be like, hey, Mr. Bartender, let's be friends, but I can't handle alcohol right now. I need tea.
You can easily be brought tea.
Okay. I'm just like holding the cup but not drinking it. So that was a thing we did.
Which part?
Mostly the part where I killed a man.
Oh, yes. You'll forgive me, I assumed you'd done that before.
No, I was just very angry.
Yeah.
What he was going to do to children.
Here's to new experiences, then.
Well, you wouldn't think less of me if I told you just a small part. Perhaps enjoyed it. Stopping an evil person from doing evil things.
Mr. Cutter, I cannot imagine a person who would do what it is that we apparently now do without some positive reason for it. If you were entirely motivated by hatred or vengeance, I would find you a much more disturbing man.
I think finally she'll drink some tea. And it's gone a little bit cold by now, but... So, this is the kind of people we are now. I'm this kind of person.
Seems perhaps a little cruel that we were all selected for this club based on our expertises and experiences.
How they knew what our expertises and experiences were is still making me uneasy.
I meant more that I feel significantly less uneasy than you.
How so?
Many of the things I have been pursuing on behalf of the gentlemen strangers are, while outside my usual wheelhouse, certainly not as conceptually frightening as killing a man in his own shop.
In context, I suppose you're right.
I have a gift for paperwork, paper trails, and the grubby margins in between. You have a talent for violence. but together we serve a common good, and we should embrace it.
What's a British thing to say?
Oh, no one help her.
Goddamn.
I need more than anything in all the world right now for Bree to compose a British thing to say without any prompting at all.
You are forbidden from watching the chat.
Okay. God, no, now there's too much pressure.
Chat, don't help her.
I'll just say, rightio.
Perfect. Perfect.
That's canon.
Rightio.
Rightio.
You've got that from me as well.
Did I?
I say righto all the time.
Oh, it's right. Oh, I put an E in there.
Rightio is also reasonable.
Okay.
You become aware that someone is approaching your table. It is the tall, well-built figure of the Aventine's landlord.
Mm. I didn't make that noise in the game.
You purr at him as he approaches.
What is it?
Good evening, gentlemen. May I join you?
Please.
Forgive my intrusion. I would not normally barge in on your business, but I wondered if I might bend your ear. There's a bit of a personal problem that I wondered if you might be able to help solve. A friend of mine's gone missing, you see, and I think he might have wound up in the clutches of the sort of matter that you are known to deal with. I'll get to it then. His name's Len Stiles, a regular patron around here. I've known him for years. He's been a bit down on his luck recently, but he was invited to interview for a position with a local doctor, and a household position, I understand, and quite a good one for a man with Len's training. And anyway, he had an interview about a week ago, this sort of time in the evening, and he was dressed up to the nines and off he went, and he said, well, I'll see you in the morning. And he helps out from here from time to time when I'm a bit short-handed, you see. In any case, I never heard from them, and it's been a week, as I say. And I've asked around, and you know, there are people he talks to, there are people he goes to the dog track with, you know, and they've not seen him at all. And I thought, since you managed to deal with the unpleasantness of Mr. Weller so effectively, maybe the two of you might spare some time tonight to look into things.
You're muted.
Quite. You have not seen him for a week. His friends and compatriots, have they seen him in that space of time at all?
No, none of them. As far as I can work out, based on the timing of it all, he left straight from here to the house of this Dr. Latham. And I was the last of his friends to see him, for sure. He didn't stop anywhere else on his way, and none of us have seen him since the night of the interview. I mean, I assumed at first, okay, well, he's managed to land himself the position, and he's settling in, but I would have expected at least a letter from that time.
Do you have an address for this Mr. Dr. Latham?
I'm afraid I don't know. I know that he's. I know from what Len told me that this Latham's not too far from Covent Garden, a few streets away from Covent Garden, he said. But more than that, I'm afraid I don't know.
Did Len give any indication of the nature of the job?
From what I remember, it was this doctor's managed to get himself a new practice or something, and he's looking to expand his household. I imagine Stiles was hoping for butler. Stiles used to be butler to some old lawyer a few years ago, but the lawyer died and Styles has been out of work, in and out of work since then, and always looking for something back in the higher echelons of service. And I think butler was the idea.
Fascinating. Quite fascinating. And you fear the worst?
Well, there was something about the way that Len talked about this. He'd been corresponding with this doctor for a time, a few weeks, I think, and I'm no stranger to, shall we say, men of innovation. And apparently this Dr. Latham is some sort of, for want of a better word, experimenter, you know. He's put ads in the newspapers for subjects to test his various new serums and so forth. I've got some familiarity with that kind of character. And,
what is the quality of the press that he has been advertising in?
he's been advertising in all sorts of anything from rags to broadsheets. The advertisement for this position was in one of the more, shall we say, the gentlemen's magazines that show up advertising for valets and butlers and so forth. And that's, I imagine, where Len heard from it. But he's been asking for something. He's got an office on Harley Street, you know. But he's not. He's a doctor, but I think he's not looking for patients. He's looking for people to test his medicines, I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, something about that didn't sit right with me.
Yeah, I imagine. Your friend, Mr. Styles, does he live nearby to here?
Yeah, he's last I knew, he was staying with his sister a few streets away. I know where they live.
Might I trouble you for the address?
Certainly, here it is.
And the sister's name?
Agatha.
Marvelous. And is there anything else?
Not that I can think of right now, but you know where I am. I'll try and think, but I didn't pay it much mind, you know, until Len stopped showing up.
No, one really does. Things do not often seem suspicious until they become suspicious.
Aye.
Well, Mr. Carter, it looks like we have an investigation before us. Are you, as they say, in?
I thought there was more to that sentence, so I was waiting for it, but yes.
Marvelous. Well, landlord, I shall return.
Aye, well, I'll leave you both to it. Thank you very much.
Well, Mr. Carter, there is no time to lose. We must pay a visit to this sister.
Yes.
It is a rather late hour.
Yeah, and we're like in costumes and stuff.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was late, like early night time. Is it quite late night time?
The sun's gone down, and she's a woman living alone. It's late for a
But
visit.
also, if her
from
brother's
gentlemen.
missing, maybe she
I
won't
was thinking
mind.
more. I was thinking more. Her brother's missing, and she might be expecting support.
I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm informing you of a cultural fact.
No, you're quite right. It's a cultural fact. I don't do that. I sit back down. Oh, it is quite late.
Is there...
Dash it all. Why don't people accept visitors at any hour? Inspiration only strikes when inspiration strikes.
I do feel this is... time is of the essence.
No, but two well-dressed masked men arriving at her door in the middle of the night asking serious questions about her brother. It's only going to terrify her. I cannot stand terrified women. She will not answer the questions accurately. She will be hysterical.
God damn it.
Victorian mom.
I'm gonna drink some tea instead of saying anything snooty. But the doctor's office, do we know where that is?
Likely to be closed. However,
That doesn't stop us. That didn't
Yes.
stop us before.
I believe we should return to the club. I have a number of newspapers and periodicals from the past week that I've been meaning to get to for my files. Perhaps we can see if we shall find any of these advertisements.
Good. Okay.
Come,
so-
Mr. Cutter, I shall hail a cab.
Haha, rightio. I need a different thing to say. Someone save me.
No, that's become your thing now.
Dear,
don't
you do need a
like
new
it.
Catherine.
I feel like Flamio Hotman. that's what I feel. Anyway,
Mr. Cutter is kind of the group soccer.
man, I don't want to. Yeah.
That was
no.
Ang.
Yeah, but in the context of our group, you know.
Soccer was Avatar Ang, how you do go on.
So, forgive me, I didn't choke to death, but it was a near run thing. I inhaled my tea. That's not the way it's supposed to drink tea.
Don't do it.
So, you head back to the Millennium Club,
hmm
as was.
I want to stock up on some secret weapons. I feel like I didn't have enough weapons. But you do that in flashback, so not a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're investigating now. So I suppose the first thing you're doing is looking through recent papers to see if you can find any of these advertisements, yes?
Yeah.
All right, then. By all means, proceed.
Give me just a second. I'm just going to take a look at what I've got. Yeah, I imagine this is going to be the sort of thing where he gets all of the most recent newspapers, clears the desk. I think he's probably got a little nook of as many of the desks as he's been able to find in the building, and he's moved them to one place so that he can have extra desk space, because he ascribes to the belief that if you have a space, you should fill it. But then you need another space to do other things, and then that gets filled. So
Me?
he'll clear a
Is he
spot
me?
and he'll lay out as many of the papers as possible and look for similar or related advertisements. And I think I would like to make this a study check, because I think he is
Yep.
combing through the pages very carefully.
It sounds like you are studying, so please do study.
Study. Position?
It's completely controlled position with standard effect.
Bonus.
If you push yourself? Oh,
You
is there a
can- yeah.
bonus in our lair?
Is there a what, sorry?
Is there a bonus when we're in our lair?
Not that I know of.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
Good try though. Oh, no. No. It's a 1 and a 2.
Oh dear, that's a 2.
Thought I'd be okay.
No, unfortunately not. You can't find any such advertisement.
Blast, I think I might have taken those pages out.
It's all right. Let's go scope out this doctor's office and see if we can.
It's the middle of the night.
Okay, you stay here and study some more. I'm going to go do something outside. I'm going to the doctor's office.
All right. You take a cab to Harley Street.
I feel like that's where all the mischief is. Is Mr. Spider really not going because he's like, oh, it's closed, you can't go in? Like, it's okay, I can open the door.
You probably can. You arrive on Harley Street. Some of the offices are still open. There'll be plenty of people in there doing their homework, doing their sort of bookkeeping and so on.
Okay.
You don't have an exact address, but these offices all have brass plaques, so it doesn't take you too long to find Jacob Latham, a bachelor of medicine.
Okay. Is it open?
It is not open. There is, however, a light on in the upstairs window.
And I can't see anything from the street. It's just a building and a light.
You can see cast against a drawn curtain. You can see shadows moving and someone's moving about up there.
Okay. What about the back? Is there a back? Can we go to the back?
There is an alleyway that runs up behind the buildings, but the gate is locked.
Like, can I go over the gate?
It's got spikes on it, but you can attempt to vault it.
I'm going over the gate.
Okay.
Is Mr. Spider there, or did he stay in the lair and he's mad at me?
He's not mad at you. He's studying.
Oh, okay. I'm on my own. I hope this doesn't go terribly. What? Is it like a metal gate? Would it make noise if I try to break open this lock?
It is a wrought iron gate.
Man.
It shouldn't make noise. No.
It's also, honestly, easier to be one person sneaking around than two.
Okay. I just like the moral support as a person, but like as a player, you're right. This is the best.
That's what the chat's for. The chat can give you moral support.
Thanks, chat. Be here for me. Okay. I feel like my prowess isn't great, so sneaking around is not my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just break the lock?
Yes, you can try to wreck the lock.
I do. I want to do it, and I want to push myself, and I want this lock to just pop open in my mighty strong hands. Yes, I'm doing it.
Do it. So this is risky.
Oh, man.
Because someone's going to hear you breaking a lock, probably.
Maybe they won't. I don't know.
Risky with limited effect.
Oh. Okay.
Don't forget, you can push yourself or choose a devil's bargain if you want more dice.
I'm pushing myself. Is it 2 stress or 1 stress to push yourself?
It is 2 stress to push yourself.
Okay. I'm doing it. Please work. Hey, it's a 6.
And that is a 6. That is a full success. So essentially, you wrap one of your hands in a bit of in a handkerchief or something. You hold the lock and you very precisely strike it. And what you realize is that actually, rather than striking it, no, you have to strike it because it's wreck. And essentially, you must bust one of the springs on the inside of the lock. Well, that just pops open. Cheap lock. Expensive gate doesn't mean anything if the lock is cheap. And it's a relatively new gate and it doesn't squeak as you open it.
Okay, I'm gonna go in and then close it behind me and like put the lock in the little loop so it just looks like it's there.
Yeah.
But that's a lame.
No, it's very clever and means that you're less likely to get caught. And
no, it's good. It's a very, very, very good thing to do. So yeah, you've got this you're in this alley that goes behind all of these offices. Now, how sure are you of which one you're going to? Because I know it's very easy to lose count of these things.
That's true.
I think you should possibly try to survey to try to get your bearings.
Okay. No. I'm pushing myself on this too. I have to do it. I'm the only one. It's just me.
Okay, so it's going to be controlled.
Okay.
Because you've got all the time in the world.
Right.
But it's going to be limited effect.
Okay. And I get 1 dice. I got a 5.
Nice. Success at a cost. So It's either that house or that house.
Okay. Well, is there any windows, or can you know what, like doors you can see under, like a tiny bit?
There are no doors you can see under, but there are windows. You. So you. I'm going to change it. You know which house it is because it's the only one with a light on of the in the part that it can be. The cost is as you're confirming this, someone comes out of the back area of this of one of the houses and just sort of, oh, evening, sort of walks past you. But your presence has been noted.
That's okay.
That's okay. You haven't raised any alarms.
I'm in the gate that's locked, so obviously I'm supposed to be here.
Absolutely. No one heard the sounds of anyone busting a lock, so you're not called with any suspicion.
All right. Well, is there? They don't keep stuff in the back. There's not like crates of mysterious vials or anything.
Magical gear up to no good.
You know, just if I was a magical, mischievous person, I would definitely have a mysterious house. No, I wouldn't. I would
Boxes marked with a green glowing skull.
Ooh. Okay, fine. First I'm gonna look at the door and I'm gonna think, what would that sneaky lad have done? Probably just looked at it. Like, this is a door.
You are able to verify that the back door is a door. Great.
I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm gonna like just try the knob.
What you're doing is you're going to the location to see if any objects are highlighted in your HUD so that you can click on them.
I don't know what I'm doing.
It's like you're playing a 1990s mystery game.
What is it? I'm gonna just try the handle. Maybe it's not locked because they locked the gate. Why would they lock the door?
That's not how that works. The back door is locked.
Okay, I'm breaking that too. Please work.
So this is again risky, but standard effect.
Okay. No bonus dice.
Unless
But devil's bargain.
You want a devil's bargain, do you?
I want this to open.
Okay, this is the door. This is the door to the guy's office, and you know someone's in there. So they're going to hear it. But depending upon how well you roll, they'll either hear the sound of an odd noise they can't identify, or it might be, that's the sound of my door being bashed in.
And they all run away. But for now, it could work.
It could work.
So I get one dice, right?
You get one bonus die, yeah.
Okay.
If you take the other one, you have to take it.
Look, I need it. They're gonna hear me anyway. It's fine. It's not like I can pick this lock open. I don't have skills. This is just gonna have to work. That's a 5.
Christ.
Okay, so it was standard effect and it was a risky position, success with a cost. So you're busting the lock, which means the door is open because it's a lock on a door, right? It's not a padlock. And you hear the distinct sound of when someone upstairs sort of stopped moving. And you hear an upstairs door open. And silence.
I'm waiting. I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna move.
The silence persists.
Okay. I'm gonna wait some more.
You hear the creak of a floorboard.
No! Do I hear the creak of stairs yet? The floorboard is fine. It just means...
You're not quite sure because, of course, you're on the ground and it's a couple of floors up.
Can I see anything from the crack while I'm waiting in silence?
It's dark down here, but you do, after a little while, hear a door closing.
Success. I hope. Or they're just as sneaking down the stairs, because that's what I would do if I was hearing ghosts. Okay. It's fine. I'm gonna open the door some more, let in some light, and see what I can see. I'm looking for mysterious vials glowing green so I can click on them.
I hate to disappoint you. You've entered a laundry room.
Man, I was so excited. Is this
This
the
isn't
wrong building?
This isn't the score. There's nothing. There's nothing. No green vials for you here.
I can't go back to Mr. Spider with absolutely nothing.
No, that's true. But you've only just come into the store. There's 3 stories and an attic.
Okay, we're gonna close the door behind me and go to the next door.
Very polite. There's a hallway with some stairs leading up, and another door.
Okay, I'm just getting anxious, but I'm still doing it. I'm going into the next door.
This opens up into what you surmise is a waiting room, a rather nicely appointed waiting room.
Ooh. Okay. Ooh, papers. Mr. Spider would want to look for papers. Where's the papers?
There is a book on a desk that seems to be an appointment ledger.
Ooh, Len Styles. Look for that name.
You do not see any Len Styleses.
Okay. I can't call. Can I? How? Is it? Oh, but it was from a week ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
So try to look for a
This
week
practice,
ago.
this practice does seem to have a good steady flow of patients, but obviously Len Styles wasn't a patient.
Okay, man, this is not my wheelhouse. There's a lot of people. Is there another ledger, a secret ledger for secret things?
It's very secret if there is.
Oh man.
And this is the public reception area, so.
I just figured like he would go in there and be like, "Hi, I'm here for the secret thing," and they'd be like, "Aha!" Take out the other book.
Well, as far as you know, remember, Len Styles was never here. He went to the guy's house to work for the guy.
I thought he went here. I'm an entire idiot. I just wasted everyone's time.
Everyone said everyone's fun. There might be something else here. But this is where the doctor works.
I thought you were here looking for his home address.
Oh, yeah, then I'm looking for that.
Then you shall have to find his office.
But he's in his office.
What to do? You hear the sound of someone coming down the stairs.
I'm hiding.
Fantastic.
I don't know what to do. I thought I was like gonna find his name and like where like, oh, we took him to the creepy facility for this.
But it sounds to me like you're gonna have to do something to hide.
Okay.
What do you do?
Wait, how far are the stairs? I could just go back downstairs and leave. Like,
Yeah, you're hearing someone coming down the stairs a couple of floors up, so you could simply Zoidberg out the back door if you want.
I'm so mad. I thought I was doing a thing.
There are things of value here, but they're not in these publicly accessible areas.
What if I just hide in the shadow and while he's going downstairs, I come back upstairs?
Absolutely, yeah.
This is a terrible idea.
But you will have to, but again, you will have to perform some action to do this. Likely prowl.
That sounds right. I'm gonna prowl and I'm gonna push myself to hide in a place. Maybe he's going home for the night. He doesn't sleep here.
It's all dark, so risky because you don't want to be caught, but also standard effect because there are plenty of shadows to hide in.
And a bonus dice. Okay, this has to work. This has to work.
You have spent so much stress. The score hasn't even begun yet.
Like I thought I was doing a thing. So
You are doing a thing.
6. That's a
A
6.
6. Okay, so excellent. You find like there's an airing cupboard or something at the base of the stairs. It's got slats in the door, so you can see out of it, but with it closed. And you see the little old cleaning lady.
Are you kidding me?
No, coming down the stairs, and you see that she goes into the waiting room, closes the door. She's going to lock the waiting room door, and you hear her leave out of the front door.
Okay. So she's gone. Everyone's gone. I can find his address finally. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
This is terrible.
This is useful. You're doing very well.
And now I'm locked in a waiting room.
You're spending stress like no one's business, but you're doing well.
Well, I mean, I thought I had to. Well, here we go. Izzy's frozen.
She does that. That's fine. Sometimes she becomes a statue. There's no stopping it.
Okay. Cool. Well, now I'm breaking that lock to get out of this room.
You don't have to. Remember, you're at the base of the stairs. So if you just want to go upstairs, you can.
Oh, okay. Sweet. I'm going upstairs now. I'm so mad.
Yeah, and you can see as you head up, there are no lights ahead of you. It seems that she was the only person in the building.
I spent all this stress for a cleaning lady who just probably wouldn't have even cared.
You get up and you see a door that says private, staff only.
Mm-hmm. I'm staff.
It is of course locked.
Okay, I'm gonna break that one.
It's fine. I'm not going to really make you roll for this. There's no one who's going to hear you breaking it. So the roll will only determine how long it takes you. So you've got all the time you need. And you bust the lock and you come into an office. There is actually a bed here. It seems that sometimes the doctor does sleep here, but tonight is not that night. But you can see a bureau, a locked bureau.
Okay, excellent. Hang on, I'm fixing our layout because Izzy left. Okay, I'm gonna rifle through everything. I need his home address.
Guess what you're gonna have to do? You're gonna have to open that there bureau.
Okay, how do I open it?
It's got a sort of tiny lock on it. You're not really gonna be able to just bust the lock. You're right. You're gonna have to bust the bureau if you want to open it.
This is a whole disaster. Wait, maybe he has the key on his desk.
Okay. So, yeah, you can survey the desk.
Okay. Controlled?
I don't think you does this necessitate a roll? What's the point of failure here? I think you might simply fail to find it because it's a small key. So yeah, it's controlled, standard effect.
Okay. That's a 3.
That is a 3, so that is a failure. You simply you don't find the key to the bureau. And you've been searching for a good amount of time now, and you hear a church bell or something striking not too far away, letting you know that it's getting very late. It's getting towards midnight.
Oh man. I didn't come all this way to do nothing. I'm gonna try to pick the lock.
Okay, fine.
Okay, let me fix
So yeah, you on your way out, you can easily have grabbed some subterfuge supplies or tinkering tools, I think it would be. So yeah, you can have a go at tinkering the bureau lock.
Okay.
It's controlled position. I think limited effect.
Okay. Ah, that's a 2.
That is a 2.
I'm not good at locks.
Okay. So you fail to persuade the bureau lock to open for you, and you realize that you've actually bent the little lever inside the lock, meaning that now even the actual key won't work.
Good. Fuck this guy. Okay. Cool. So I did absolutely nothing. I'm going to go back to the lair with nothing.
Okay.
Cool.
So what's the next? What's the next setup action someone wants to do? Mr. Spider, do you have anything in mind?
The next morning, I'd like to go and see that sister.
Yes, absolutely. You want to go and see Agatha Styles.
Yes.
I take it that you're going as yourself, not as the
Yes,
terrifying masked man.
Hello.
Yeah, she comes to the door. Yes, how can I help you? Doesn't talk like that. Fucking hell. She doesn't. She does now. Yes, how can I help you?
Excuse me, are you Agatha?
Oh, I am.
Is your brother a Mr. Len Styles?
Oh, yes, he is. Oh no, is he in trouble?
Not potentially, Miss
Ooh.
Styles.
That's right. Yeah.
Pleasure to meet you. My name is Nathaniel Traeger. I would love to have a few words about your brother's whereabouts. I have been contracted by a friend of his to help find him. I understand he's not been home in some time.
Oh, well, he's not been here in some time, but he doesn't live here anymore.
Well, a couple of friends are concerned about his whereabouts, and I wondered if I could ask you a few questions.
Of course.
I'm not with the police, don't fret.
I'm not fretting about the police. He's got a job.
Yes, I meant... Never mind. I miss you, Mr. Slide. Does she let him in, or?
Yeah, she will. She's very confused, but she'll let you in. Do you want a cup of tea? She's not northern. Do you want a cup of tea?
Oh, lovely, yes.
I'll just fetch one. Why don't you sit down? Sit down. I don't know why his friends are worried. He's landed himself a position.
Has he?
Yeah.
I wondered if perhaps you had any correspondence from your brother.
Oh, I got a letter from him a couple of days ago.
A couple of days ago. Might I be permitted to take a look? If it's not too intrusive.
Well, it is a bit.
Ah, I understand. It is only that his good friends and compatriots have not heard from him for some time, not even a note.
Well, you can tell his compatriots he's landed a position and he's living at the house there and he does very well for himself.
Could you tell me the location? I may send him a note myself to confirm that his friends need not worry about him.
You're going to have to do something because her back is completely up.
Superb. Turns out Mr. Spider brings out my complete inability to talk to people.
Yeah, tell me what it is you think. It sounds like a sway to me.
Probably. I'm just bringing up my character sheet because when my computer crashed, everything crashed.
Like Bagpuss.
Yeah, that seems like what I'm doing. Just standard array?
there's no risk really here, so it's controlled position, standard effect. Right. That's a 3. We have to get used to saying the results out loud.
Sorry, I couldn't get to it because I'm trying to scroll on a very, very clunky computer.
No, that's why I was saying it. That's a 3, as I said. So she says, you know, I think if these really are friends of his, they'll have heard from him, probably. Do you still want that cup of tea?
No, perhaps best not.
Perhaps best not.
Well, should you hear from him again, could you inform him that his friends are concerned about him and perhaps he might do them the courtesy of a note himself? Good day, Miss Styles.
Good day.
People are quite tricky, he says to himself as he walks out of the house. This is the equivalent, by the way, Bree, of Mr. Cutter feeling completely at a loose end without the lurk and the hound to back her up. Mr. Spider's like, oh yes, talking to people is difficult. I miss Mr. Slide very much.
Yeah, this isn't the greatest. I broke into a doctor's office for no reason.
Nevertheless, once he's done, he's
Did
going
you actually
to
leave her house?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, she implied that she didn't want to talk to him anymore, and he wasn't just going to sit there until she told him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But on the other hand, she would have been in the kitchen for several minutes making that tea.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, she just came straight back to talk. Like, I'd love to have poked about a bit, but, like, I assumed that the scene had moved on. I keep forgetting what we're allowed to do in the setup and what we have to do. I was
providing you an opportunity to stall her while you looked through her things and took a letter. I'll let you do it if you want, but I won't do it all. I won't do that all the time, but...
Thank you. Well, look, you don't forget, the first time we ever tried to do a thing, we all died because we were like, oh, well, we didn't know what we were allowed to do.
That's actually not true. The first time that this crew did a thing, they technically succeeded their score. Only one of them was traumatized, and many of them were left bleeding to death, but none of them actually died. But no, please do avail yourself of any and all opportunities to move the story along.
Yes, then I'd like to...
Let's go back in time a little.
Ransack her paperwork.
You still want that cup of tea?
Yes, please.
Oh, all right. I suppose far be it for me to be a bad hostess. And she'll go and start making a cup of tea.
Paperwork.
Yeah, you say paperwork. She's got a bunch of letters in a box.
Marvelous. People with significantly complicated filing systems are much harder to ransack.
So yeah, she doesn't get an enormous number of letters, and you've got enough time. You've got enough time to read a couple of letters, and you see one indeed that seems to be signed from Leonard, and it's got an address, a from address, at the top.
Is it possible to get the letter open?
Or has the from address at the top? That means that's the doctor's office?
From address is in the letter, like they're reading the letter.
Oh, in which case, yes. What is the contents of the letter?
He's very happy in his new position. Dr. Latham's a strange sort, keeps very odd hours, but the job is decent enough.
Okay. When's the letter dated?
Indeed, 2 days ago. It's an address on Shelton Street. Not far from Seven Dials.
Okay. How good is the paper that the letter is written on?
Middling.
Then I suppose, yes, he'll make sure that the letter is restored to its location, and will spend a few seconds jotting down relevant things that he remembers on his page in his notebook.
All right. I suppose you can just sit and have an awkward cup of tea with the sister for a bit. She thinks you're a right rumman, and
I think Mr. Spider, because he has always been a little bit awkward when talking to people, has developed an innate ability to drink a boiling hot cup of tea at lightning speed and go, yes, quite. The weather's terrible. What's the Prime Minister on now? Well, that was lovely tea.
I'm assuming as a master conspirator, you're not that awkward at talking to people.
Look, I'm trying, but I have to fall back on it because I've managed to fail at a thing.
But yeah, you have a cup of tea, so you now have an address. While Izzy sneezes herself to an early grave, what's the next investigative step? Let's try and wrap up and get towards a hunt, shall we? What's the next step you need?
Look, I thought it was all at the doctor's office, so I'm just a fool. Let's go to the doctor's home address and talk to see if Styles is alive. Right? Is that
I'm gonna wait for Izzy to reincarnate herself as.
I mean, Mr. Spider knows best.
This is scintillating. So are you going to go to the doctor's address? Is one of you going to go as a real person, or are you both going to go as gentlemen strangers?
I mean, before we go and ransack the address, Spider's going to talk to landlord and say, his sister doesn't think he's missing. What gives? Like, that to me, I'm sorry, that to me seems really suspicious. Why does this not seem suspicious to anyone?
Go on then.
Okay.
Like,
I'm not trying to. You're trying to speed us along. So
I'm
not trying to make a whole big scene about it. But he's just trying to. I'm trying to bump these two facts against each other and see if a discrepancy falls out.
Are you sure it was him? Did
I have no idea. I have a letter noted down from him, but she gave no.
Do you have the letter?
No, I did not take it from her. She would have become suspicious.
It's just not like him.
It did not seem it, but should she not have detected that her brother was her brother in written form?
He wouldn't write to her and not come and see us. He's 2 streets away. I've known the man for 8 years.
This was my concern, but she was insistent. I intend to continue with this investigation. I simply wish to come to you with this information and say that it was potentially concerning.
Well, if you don't mind, if you don't want to, if it's beneath your notice, I'll take care of it myself.
My dear fellow, it is quite not beneath my notice. I am simply trying to highlight the fact that there is a concerning discrepancy. Someone, if he is indeed missing and is not writing to his sister, someone is going out of their way to write easy breezy letters to Agatha Styles to set her at rest, despite the fact that he no longer lives with her.
May I read the copy that you made?
Of course.
Is this an exact copy?
Exact.
This isn't Lane Styles.
I was hoping you would be able to tell me that. Seems Agatha Styles does not know her brother as well as she hoped she would.
This is just not his way of phrasing things.
Evidently. However, we have an address for this doctor.
Do you want me to go instead? If you
No, I'm not. I hope I'm not giving off that impression, landlord.
Ida, you must calm yourself.
Oh, look, my cab is here.
Fabulous, Mr. Spider. Good luck to you. Is it just Spider going on his own, or is Spider and Cutter both going?
Heck, no, we're both going.
Yeah, this is a team effort.
Excellent. The gentleman stranger's right off. Is this the score then?
Yeah, I think it must be.
I think it's going to have to be, because I don't think there's, just based on the past couple of scenes, I don't think there's a way you're going to be able to do this without it. So, you have a car. You must decide how to approach it then.
Walk us through our options, please, Mr. Maestro.
Here we go.
But they're not options. I'm asking how you're going to approach this.
So
Inhuman-
it's just we're going to the doctor's address where
His
Len
home.
Styles works, not where he's a patient.
Yes, indeed. Good.
Okay.
I can see there's no getting past you.
Well, now
Yeah, right.
you could have gone right past me earlier. I wouldn't. Nope.
Mhm.
Okay. Normal load, right? That's what you mean, right?
Yeah, I'd love to know what load you're taking.
Normal load. Just two strangers sneaking up on a house.
Okay. Are you going to be knocking on the front door? Or are you going to be sneaking in? Like, you now know something untoward is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we shall have to be sneaking, I think.
Very well then. That's what I like to hear. So we should do an engagement. Should we not? Oh, it's exciting.
Look, that was a ooh of terror, not excitement.
So, a die because you're people doing things. Are you being particularly bold or daring? No, but I don't think you're being overly complex. You're just going straightforwardly to the thing.
Yeah. Flashback later, but I have too much stress, so I'm probably not going to flashback.
I think just one engagement die. I should roll that then, shouldn't I?
Only one? Are you sure?
I'm pretty confident, yes. Let's engage with one die. What do we get?
That's
A 4! Great. Okay, fine. So you have gone around the area and you can see you've found the correct house, and you've found that there, I think you've gone around the back. There are still lights on. So you've established you're in a risky sort of position because there's still people up and about in the house, but you're around the back. There is an open window that's kind of, you're going to have to clamber up to it, or there's the door.
That open window looks tasty because I could go in and then unlock the door.
Excellent.
Because I'm tiny. And just like, doo, doo, doo. Oh no, but I'm not a thief in this game. Dang it. Okay. Where's the window? How high up? I don't.
Like it's up above like a little coal shed thing, so it's Spider could give you a boost up there, sort of thing.
Okay. Well, okay. First, can I get on top of the shed first, and then like listen and just see where's the people?
Yeah,
Or if I
absolutely.
can see anything through the window.
So I think there's going to have to be a check for this because there's a potential for you falling and making noise. So it does sound to me like some prowling might need to happen.
Okay. Is this good? Is a good plan? Let's just see through the window.
Is the plan that we have.
Okay, let's go. Prowl. Risky. Standard?
Risky, standard effect. Mr. Spider, if you want, you can spend one stress to help Mr. Cutter up
Yes, I would like to do that.
for a
Thank
bonus
you.
die.
Okay. That's a 6!
Superb. You have managed to climb up onto the coal shed, and you've made absolutely no noise whatsoever doing so.
Delicious. What's in this house?
Well, you can hear getting about,
Hmm.
and you can smell copper.
Ooh.
You smell the combination of almost the sort of the sweet, sharp smell of someone making a big saucepan of pickle,
Oh,
but
I thought it was blood and we were in the thing.
but it's tinged with a sort of coppery scent.
Maybe he's eating them. This is the world we live in now.
This is the world you live in now.
Not.
Okay. So someone's cooking. That's fine. So I'm on this shed. I can just like, because I'm imagining from what you said, it's like the door and then the window.
Yeah. Yep.
So
The
I
window
can
is
just-
the window is open.
Reach in and like unlock the door.
But you can't. No. The window is up here. The door is down there.
Oh, London houses aren't the houses I think they are.
It's not a country cottage for sure.
Well,
No.
That's how our house. You can just like
Right,
break
you
the
just have to-
window, open the
you
door
can't just-
because it's stupid.
No.
Okay.
You can't just reach one or the other. You're gonna have to go in through the window to open the door.
Okay. I'm going in the window. Easy peasy, beautiful cover girl. Do I have to roll? Can I just sneak in?
No, I'm not gonna make you roll. I'm not gonna make you roll.
Okay, I'm gonna unlock the door for Mr. Spider.
But I'm gonna start a clock. The clock has 4 segments, and the clock is called "The Doctor is In."
Oh no! Why did you do that?
And I'm filling in 1 segment out of 4. So yeah, you can get in and unlatch the back door.
Okay, and open it super quiet. Someone's making pickles or something. That's not what I say. I don't say anything.
So the back door.
Okay.
I suppose it will have to begin with just scoping the area, like trying to find what stands out here as potentially not right.
Are you inside the house now?
Well, the door was open for me.
Then I'm going to move the clock up. The Doctor is In is moved from 1 segment to 2 segments. And upstairs, there's sort of a flickering lamplight or something which goes out.
Oh no.
And the door slams closed.
Oh Jesus.
As does the window. And there is silence.
Excuse me.
You hear the creaking of someone walking on floorboards. And you see a candle light. And a man stands at the stairs that lead down to this area holding a small candle in a holder and says in a stilted voice, "I'm sorry, the master's not at home to visitors. I'm going to have to ask you to leave." And I'm going to move the clock up again to a 3.
Is that Lynn Styles?
Mr. Styles? Charming to meet you. Your sister's very worried about you. Have you considered coming away with us?
I'm afraid the master's not at home to visitors. You're going to have to leave.
Given that Spider feels kind of outed by this clearly supernatural happenstance, I think he's going to just try and get a good look at the man he assumes is Styles.
He is dressed as a butler might dress, yes.
How does he look if I approach him?
His face is curiously expressionless. He's just sort of staring through you.
But he's not green or something.
He's not green or anything. No.
Okay.
Green?
Well, if he's like a I don't know, a zombie or something.
My dear fellow, you look frightfully placid. Might we be able to summon a doctor for you?
He stands impassively and says, "You should leave. The master is not at home to visitors."
It's not the master we're interested in. Have you considered? I think Cutter. I'm not Cutter.
He tilts his head upwards.
Uh-oh.
Upstairs, is he?
"Will you come this way?
Listening to
I'm to lead you to the master's study."
I don't want to do that.
Please, yes. Lead on.
"Follow me." He turns on his heel and walks ploddingly up the stairs, turning every now and then to make sure you are following.
I think Spider follows at quite a slow pace, and during a bit where Styles is looking up, because like he approached, but Cutter didn't, right? So he can glance back to where she is in the shadows and be like,
"There's no way Cutter would let Mr. Spider go first."
I meant more the fact that Cutter stepped at the who am I?
Spider.
And Cutter didn't, which means that she could in theory be like, because he's going to get attacked. This is clearly a situation where Spider's going to get jobbed, and like Cutter can come in from the side more subtly. Was more my thought. If she didn't make herself known. We can't plan it, but I'm just trying to tell you how I was seeing the scene. Please tell me if I was incorrect.
I don't know what side it is you think she's going to come in from. You're being led up the stairs.
Yes, but she can follow from behind. Like,
oh yeah, that is.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
I just meant more Spiders being the obvious captured party, and Cutter is less obvious. I'm not trying to be complicated. I just meant
a support sandwich.
So in other words, you're going up the stairs.
When one
Mr.
bread
Cutter is following Mr. Spider up
is
the
a
stairs.
demon and one bread is me.
So you are led up 2 flights, and you come to a room. Styles stops, steps to one side, allowing you access to the door, and says, "The master shall see you now."
well, don't want to put him out. Frightfully late hour and all that. But many thanks, Styles. I suppose I'll be seeing you soon. And Spider's going to take a sort of, not a comically long time, but a period of time to like stand at the door and adjust his coat and put his hat under his arm and like pretend that this is a perfectly normal thing, just to give Cutter a chance to like hide so that Styles doesn't see her when he does whatever it is he does.
Once the door starts to swing, of course, of its own volition, open, Styles is going to head on up the stairs without making any eye contact with Mr. Cutter. So as far as you know, you've not been seen.
And then we'll pause, hold his hat out and say, "Oh, my good doctor," and walk into the room.
As the door opens, the coppery, sickly reek forces your nostrils open.
Pickles.
And you come into a room where glassware has been set up in some elaborate configuration, and you can see a thick red liquid being boiled in a round-bottomed flask, heading up various tubes as various bits of distillation equipment have been set up. And in one corner, you see a man in a white coat bent over what appears to be a desk reading. New subjects have arrived.
Quite, Doctor. I was wondering if...
You make yourself comfortable. And he reaches his hand out, and a chair slides itself towards you. It looks like a cozy armchair, but there are leather straps in it.
Quite a trick. I prefer standing.
I'm afraid I must insist. And he turns to face you, and you see this gaunt figure with long fangs and eyes that appear to glow as a cat's do in the light.
Am I reminded just a tiny bit of our friend, Madame Whisper?
Hold on.
Madame Whisper, I don't think had fangs, but
She did have big glowing eyes and a gaunt mouth.
Yeah, she did.
Ah. Like I said, very kind of you, Doctor, but I actually came to discuss the matter of your butler.
If you wish violence, so be it. And his nails grow into talons.
So I think what Mr. Spider is going to do in that instance, and I'm going to try and be clever because, you know, that's who I am. Where's my character sheet gone? Help.
Look at the group chat real quick.
Is that I think I feel like maybe this is a sway check.
No, carry on.
Sorry. I feel like maybe this is a sway check. In that what Mr. Spider wants to do is he is aware that Mr. Cutter has probably been listening at the door, or at least is waiting for the sound of violence to break out. And he is also aware, given what he saw with the Madam Whisper fight, which is all he can base this fight on, is that this man is likely going to be very frightening and stuff. But he hopes that at least by going to see him and like talking to him as a person, he's not sort of played his hand immediately. Like there's going to be a fight, but he's not like jumped out of the ceiling on him Kato style. So I think he's going to like throughout the time that he's talking, he's going to have his hat under his arm or something. And as he draws his claws to fight Mr. Spider, I would like Mr. Spider to say something like, "Oh no, I don't think it's necessary to turn to violence." But through that sentence, he's going to like fling his hat in the vampire's face or direction, just not to hurt him, just as that immediate kind of, oh, a thing is happening, to even ever so slightly get the drop on him so that Cutter can burst in and Spider can do stuff.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm hoping it's sway because I'm not looking to be violent to him. I'm looking to throw him off with my
sway. What are you trying to get him to do?
I'm
sway to the left so I can
literally sway. That's not what I did.
You're not trying to persuade him to do anything.
No, I suppose not. Let me take it, because the thing is I'm not trying to do a combat thing. I'm trying to put him on the back foot.
It sounds to me like a skirmish.
Okay. If you say so.
So you have a moderate help. A moderate help would I've decided to mean that you can both push yourself without spending stress once, but because there are only two of you, I'm going to let you each ignore. Hang on. I'm going to let you each push yourself without spending stress twice.
Whoa.
Because there are only two of you, and I think a moderate help, you definitely need it. So thank you to Ithacan Scum or Ithacan's Cum. I'm not quite sure which one it is. But whichever one it is, thank you for your moderate help. They definitely need it. So yeah, I guess you're skirmishing a hat.
Yeah, I guess I'm skirmishing a hat.
It's risky.
Yeah.
And I've got to say limited effect because it's a hat.
Like I said, I'm not trying to hurt him. I'm trying to give an advantage to my cohorts. And I think, you know what? I'm going to push myself.
Okay, push yourself for free. That's fine.
Which gets me one
bonus die. Yep.
Especially since if Ithacan Scum is who I think he is, I think he'll appreciate the finesse of this move. Unless it fails, in which case I'm sorry. A 4! A
4 is a success at a... No, it's not. Is it? Yeah. A 4 is a success at a cost. So you successfully distract the Dr. Latham. The cost...
My hat.
The cost is the cost is your hat. Your hat is now ruined, and you shall have to get a new one from your milliner.
I don't understand. My milliner is backed up for months.
The cost is that you have sprained your wrist, and take level 1 harm, sprained your wrist. You are, of course, allowed to attempt to resist that.
I'd like to attempt to resist that because I hope he's not as delicate as that. Tell me how to resist, please.
You resist that by rolling, in this case, prowess. And it costs you 6 stress minus the result of the die.
Oh, gosh.
Or you just don't resist it and you let it happen.
Because it's level 1. That's why I didn't. That's why I still have abdominal bruises.
6 stress, you say?
Minus whatever you roll on the die.
Yeah, well. 4 stress. It's quite a lot of stress.
That's a lot of stress to avoid level 1 harm, yes. But nevertheless.
That's what's happened to me.
At least you have your hat.
But it was level 1 harm, which means you've mitigated it completely. Congratulations. You know, one step closer to being permanently traumatized, but you have not sprained your wrist.
Look, given that there's only 2 of us and we've only got 4 wrists between us.
But he is distracted, which means, Cutter, you now have an opportunity to come into the room.
Heck yeah.
Please
Well-
say you just full on burst in through the door.
Oh, it's glorious. There like the cookery flying everywhere, and it's just a whirl of sashes and knives and death.
But once again, you are both coming into contact with the supernatural, which is, of course, as I've said before, inherently horrifying.
Yeah. But I feel like we knew that. It's all in. We're all in now.
So you have a choice. You can either choose to freeze or flee, or you can try to resist with resolve.
Resolve.
Okay.
How do you do this?
You roll resolve.
Yeah. And we push ourselves for free to do this because we must resist.
Can you push yourself? I don't think you can push yourself on this.
Never mind. We roll it straight and hope the dice gods are kind. They were to me. I got a 5. Mr. Spider, god damn it.
I got a 3. Look, I wasn't signed on for this to do violence.
Okay. So, Mr. Cutter, it costs you 1 stress.
Oh, no, don't say it cost me stress. I'll take anything.
But you are not frozen.
Okay.
You may act as normal. It costs you 3 stress, Mr. Spider, to not be frozen up with fear.
Let me just check my...
How have you spent that much stress so quickly? Did you remember that the last expenditure of stress? Oh, no, because you spent 4 stress on a sprained wrist. I was going to say, you remember your...
saying it like that. If I'd sprained my wrist, I couldn't do anything.
Yeah. Perspective.
If you'd have... Well, according to your character sheet, if you'd sprained your wrist, you'd have had less effect on a thing, not you wouldn't be able to do it.
Oh, sorry. I thought a sprained wrist would, like, take my wrist out of...
If you look on your character sheets, the harm box tells you what the effect is. Level 1 harm, which I said that it was, means less effect. Level 2 harm means -1 die, and level 3 harm means you can't do it at all without...
Sorry, I didn't know it was a level 1 at the time that I started resisting. Nevertheless, we can't go back and change things now. I have to live and learn with what I've done.
So, congratulations. You have both successfully thrown off the horror of facing this, I think it's fair to say, vampire. Mr. Cutter, he has been successfully distracted. So what would you like to do?
Oh,
He goes, a hat! No! Laced with garlic! Note, lace your hat with garlic.
Ew.
But the distraction has worked. So you will have the opportunity to do some harm if you wish to.
Yeah. How do you kill a vampire?
I don't know.
Me either.
I mean, I actually do know, but...
Okay, well, I just, somehow disable it. It has the, like, long, creepy fingers.
Yeah.
Can I just cut off the hands?
Yeah. You can try.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
Is this a skirmish? I'm in close combat.
Yeah, I think it's a skirmish. I think it's because of the distraction. I'm going to say that it's only risky, not desperate.
Okay.
Izzy, yeah.
I don't understand how you can help people on dice rolls. Please explain.
You spend a level of stress, and they get. And if you can describe how you help them, they get an extra die.
Is it a case of helping them now, or is it a case of going, but in the past I gave you my special never fail knife?
That's a flashback, and that's a separate thing.
Okay.
Flashbacks cost anywhere from 1+ stress.
If that's a separate thing, then what I would like to do is I would like to stress-free help Cutter, because
I will allow that, yes.
Because I am Mr. Spider and I have the things.
I will allow. Well, that's a spider thing, isn't it? That's not a moderate help thing. That's the thing you actually can do.
Yeah, I'm not using the moderate help thing. I'm using the what's it called?
Yes.
Foresight.
So I think this is you noticed Mr. Cutter before has a penchant for unusual moves in combat, and you've given advice about make sure to keep your eye on the right thing and things like that. So yes.
I also think in the scene, if this were filmed by Guy Ritchie, you know, Cutter bursts into the door and like Mr. Spider will reach up a foot and like push the armchair out of the way so that she has a clear path to charge at the vampire guy.
Yep. And yes, to answer the chat, minor helps and hinders are absolutely a thing in this stream.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah,
risky.
you skirmish, so it's risky, limited effect because it's cutting off a hand with a knife, and you have a bonus die from having been helped in the past with this sort of nonsense. And there is a hold on before you roll. Don't roll yet. Have you rolled?
No.
No. There's a minor help. I'm going to give you increased effect, so it's standard effect.
Cancel. Okay. Do that again. Hold on. Risky.
Yeah, do it
Standard.
again. I'll remember that it was standard effect.
Bonus. That's a 4.
That is a 4. That is success at a cost. So I think you have successfully incapacitated one of this guy's hands. I'm not going to say cut it off outright, but I don't think that's necessary. You've effectively severed it to the extent that he can no longer use it, and is gushing sort of black syrup. Is sort of gushing. It's not gushing like blood would. It's sort of oozing out.
Oh no!
Because there isn't a beating heart in his chest, of course.
Oh.
The cost to this. The cost to this is that he lashes out in response with the other hand.
I don't like it.
He lashes out with the other hand, dealing you level 2 harm. Level 2 harm. This is, I think, level 2 harm has got to be. How's he doing it? He's lashing out against you like so. Something that means you've got to lose a die. I think he has dislocated your shoulder. So you have -1 die when you're using that arm.
Okay, dislocated shoulder.
Yes, Mr. Spider.
Ow.
Do you have anything to add to the proceedings?
I'd love to add to the proceedings. So, just so I can get a sense of what's going on, we're in a strange laboratoire.
You're in a laboratoire.
And Mr. Cutter is engaged in one-on-one fighty-cuffs with definitely a vampire.
Definitely a vampire.
I think Mr. Spider is going to continue to try and help Mr. Cutter's fighting abilities by picking up his cane, and he's going to sweep it through the glass vials and experiments and things that Dr. Latham was working on, in the hope that it'll either stymie his future work if we die horribly, or be pragmatic, or you know, these pipes and things are very important to him, and if they get smashed, then he will look up and be like, no, my experiments. So
Okay, noted. He doesn't seem to notice or react to that. He is focused entirely upon savaging Mr. Cutter. Mr. Cutter, what would you like to do in response to this? You both hear a call from the other room. No, master! And Spider, you can hear the butler is rushing towards this room.
Garbage. Okay. Okay, well, I'm fighting a vampire now. I hate it. I don't want to die.
Remember you killed Madam Whisper by the severing of her head.
yes.
True. Okay, let's try to do that again. Let's. Yep.
Okay.
So it's severing heads now.
Severing heads. All right, fine.
Bree, what skill does that sound like you're using?
Action.
Skirmish. I'm still in this brawl in the close
You
combat.
are still very much engaged in
Yes.
mutual combat. This is of desperate.
But also, don't forget that advice that Mr. Spider gave you, which was to get those slightly weightier leather gloves so that when you have to take hold of someone, you are putting the full weight of your arm into it. Because I can only help other people who aren't me, and you're the only member of my party today.
Okay, thanks. So what effect is this?
I give you an extra die, I think.
Okay. But no. The effect of the I have to put. Is it standard? Did you say? Great.
It's standard effect for
For beheading and vampire.
It's
Oh, standard. Like you do.
yes, it's standard. Standard.
Okay, and then I get my bonus dice from Ithacans come. I can't not. I'm sorry.
You push yourself for free to gain a bonus die, and that's horrific. Don't make that sound. Don't giggle in such a fashion.
Here we go. That's a 6. That's a 6. I got a 6.
That is a 6 indeed.
No. Well, it doesn't matter now, I guess. I was supposed to take away a die because I dislocated my shoulder, but
Did you not include a die from Mr. Spider?
yeah. I know I did. I'm saying I was supposed to take one, but then I rolled and I forgot about it because I'm a fool.
Well, in Roll20, whenever we do a mistake like that, we always count the first X dice that are rolled. So you still rolled 3 dice, a 6, 3, and a 4, so you still get a 6.
Okay.
If a 6 had been the last result you'd rolled, you would have been in a certain amount of trouble.
Yeah, I would have died. That was so
The
bad.
minor help has been redeemed, in which case, and a minor hinder. Okay. I'll note that minor hinder, but I'll do the minor help now.
It's not showing up on my dashboard.
I will change the. Yeah.
I'll look at that later. Sorry.
I'll look at that later. Okay.
Announce your hinders and helps in the chat because
They
it's
are.
not
I've
working
asked
for
them
me.
to. That's where
They
I'm
are.
seeing
No,
them.
they are.
Oh.
So I am going to, as the butler rushes in, wielding a candlestick and about to brain Mr. Spider, you
brain him.
slice through the vampire's throat, and it falls, clutching its throat, and the butler drops the candlestick and clutches his head. What's happening? What's going on?
Mr. Styles?
Mr. Styles goes, "Oh shit, that thing again!" And Mr. Styles chucks the candlestick at the vampire, sort of knocking it over. And I think you can just finish it off.
Yes. Oh.
Styles.
Oh my goodness.
Styles is terrified.
Mr. Styles?
No, he's gone.
Well,
Let me finish it off for real. I'm gonna chop off the head completely.
You remove the head. The moment the head is completely removed, the thing desiccates, immediately mummifying in front of you. and as far as you can see, looks like it could be hundreds of years old.
Oh. Oh no.
Fascinating.
Oh
And-
no.
Quite revolting.
Ow.
Given what happened, Mr. Spider goes over, has a look, and a sort of picks up his hat and begins to do the that very gentle sort of brush of Good work, Carter. I knew you had it in you.
Yes. At least your hat is okay.
Yes. Very much so.
Oh.
Would have been quite the sacrifice.
So I'm sorry I didn't manage to get that minor hinder in because the fight was dispatched so effectively. But please remind me I owe you a minor hinder for next time. I'm sure it'll come up.
When the other scrubs are back.
Yeah.
You know, there's one last thing you have to do to successfully secure this claim.
First things first, Mr. Spider was just going to look around this room for any research notes, books, papers.
There is a book. It is written in Greek. Does Spider have any reason he could read Greek?
He probably has a reason that he studied Greek at school, but in the sense that he could go, oh yes, that's Greek. I know a few of these words, but
then you can close the book and see the title. It is called On the Distillation of the Humours.
Oh, fascinating.
Ah.
I think. Did you do Greek at school, Carter? No, I can't imagine. Oh.
Oh, Jesus.
Jesus.
Excuse me, what?
No, we studied other languages. Thank
Yeah,
you.
Of course you did.
And you can see on the page that was open, there was a diagram of the human heart.
Hey, my dear fellow, don't think I was being rude. I meant that you clearly didn't go to public school on the grounds that you're here now. And
You
you're
can
very
hear
young.
that some alarm is being raised outside because a man has just run screaming out of this house.
And you're very... Oh, yes, we should
We-
probably...
Okay, so I'll leave. Mr. Spider should write the note. You're welcome, fools.
Well, Mr. Spider is going to pull out one of the cards that were at
Right.
the house, because he almost certainly had a couple of them on him
Of course.
studying anyway, and then went, oh, we should take them. And I think he looks around the room thinking, and then just sort of stands it up into the top of the ash pile.
It's just a desiccated corpse. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, then lays it on top of the desiccated corpse. Sorry, I've been playing too much Skyrim.
Excellent. And away you go. Congratulations, you have successfully secured the good press claim, which
Yay.
means where you've left any hunt where you've left a body and a card, you will get +2 reputation, including this one.
Big reputation.
So you can return to the Aventine either tonight or whenever you like. The landlord sort of invites you actually up to his. He's got a sort of office. And he pours you a bit of a drink.
I'll take a real
I'll be on the
drink this
lookout.
time.
I'll be on the lookout for poor Len.
Yes, I did try to stop him, but unfortunately it was quite a traumatic situation, as you can understand.
No, I'm sure. But look, you've proven my instincts right. Unfortunately, as I said, I've got a nose for this sort of thing. Vials and glassware and tinctures and the humours. Not a good sign.
Your instincts do you a certain quantity of credit, sir.
I have experience in these matters, unfortunately. The sort of clientele that I have here hear all sorts of tales, many of which I'm unfortunately compelled to believe. One day I shall, no doubt, we shall be close enough friends that I shall tell you my own tale and you'll have the minds to believe it.
I look forward to such a day.
Well, Mr. Cutter, Mr. Spider, your health.
Mhm. I had coffee here the whole time.
Yes. Oh, you will see to it, landlord, that his sister is informed in some regard.
Oh, don't worry, I'll make sure of it. Once I'm sure that he's all right and as manage to regain his senses, I'll ensure that he moves back in with his sister and she understands he's been through something traumatic.
Right.
By the way, there's no need to call me landlord. I think you've demonstrated that you're trustworthy individuals. My name's Hyde, Edward Hyde.
Pleasure. But, yes, I have a feeling I was a bit terse and left rather a rude impression on her. I'm not an investigator, you understand. I do not speak with people often.
Okay. Congratulations.
Downtime? Do we do a downtime?
You will do a downtime. You can add a new
Let me get up the crew character sheet a second.
a new contact,
Mm.
which the scene had ended on the revelation of his name.
I'm sorry.
But yes, you've now got a crew contact. He is no longer called landlord. You now know him as Edward Hyde.
That's such a mysterious name.
Perhaps it is.
Yum, 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 yum.
And yeah, you let us deal with your fallout, shall we?
Should we do crew fallout first? Reputation and such?
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Oh.
So starting off with payoff. You're vigilante, so of course your primary power is in reputation. You didn't steal any gear, so you get 0 coin.
Oh.
It's all right. We can't hold any more coin anyway.
Oh,
You
okay.
can't hold any more coin anyway. That is very true. I think this is a base of 2 rep, but you get +2 rep because you left both a card and a body. So you 4 reputation in total.
We could only hold another 1. What does that mean?
When your reputation bar is full, I don't know. We'll find out.
Okay.
Find out together. Heat. Was this smooth and quiet? To an extent, no. I think that this is 2 heat. There was still a body. There was a man raving about people having broken in and all this. So 2 heat for certain. Add +2 heat if killing was involved. Bodies draw attention. Yep, so that's 4 heat in total. That's fine. So I am still going to skip entanglements for the time being. I have my own reasons for doing so. Now your group gets experience points. Did you interfere with supernatural operations or prevent harm or destroy a monster?
Yeah.
Yes, you did. So you get an experience point there. Did you do anything in particular to foster your reputation as mysterious?
I mean, I broke into his doctor's office for no reason.
It wasn't for no reason at all.
They don't know that.
It didn't pan out, but that wasn't because you failed.
Yeah, don't forget, Brie. Also, I didn't learn anything talking to his sister. Just it was more serious than we thought. We were still didn't change anything.
I just, I broke your luck for your. I broke a bunch of shit for no reason.
I feel like we achieved reputation stuff. Is that?
Yeah.
And for being mysterious, like people don't know that we're friends with Styles, and that's why we did it.
Yeah.
I guess.
No, it's up to you. I'm not gonna.
Do people think you? I don't think people think of you as more mysterious because of this, though.
That's fine.
I don't think.
I feel like the clerk at the doctor's office is gonna go in though and be like, "Why is our ledger on a month ago? Why can't I get into the doctor's office? What's happened?" But like just to that one person, they'll be confused.
What happened here? Why is all my stuff in slightly the wrong place?
So like not mysterious overall, but just like,
did you contend with challenges above your current station? Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So you can have another experience point there. Did you express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew? Yeah, your monster hunters have another experience point. So there's that. That's fantastic. So have you marked your reputation?
I have, and then I've made a note that we are 3 over what it says, so we can look into the implications of that.
You have filled up reputation.
Yeah.
I thought you said you were approaching filling.
No, we're done. We're full, baby.
Well, that's exciting. I didn't actually know, but I assume it's something really, really fun.
Yeah. Well, I've documented it, so we can look into it, and you can give us the response to that another time if you want.
Excellent. So,
It was fun.
yeah, well, congratulations. You've defeated another vampire who was obviously trying to do something involving blood. I'm sure it doesn't really matter.
God, they suck.
No!
No! God damn it.
God damn it, vampires suck!
Leave me alone. You know I'm born this way. I can't help it.
That is well known and very true. I think once your reputation meter is filled, your crew goes up a tier.
You're welcome, others who weren't here.
Yeah.
Kath enjoys the restaurant.
When you feel your crew advancement, oh no, that's advancement, not reputation. We'll do that another time because I don't care to look up rules while we're streaming. So let's do some downtime then. Starting with your experience points. Let's start with Mr. Cutter. Mr. Cutter.
Okay, so
did you make any? You made one desperate action roll.
I did.
So mark an experience point in the attribute for the action you rolled. There we go. Oh. So that can't go in general. So that would be in prowess for you.
So I put a little tick on the prowess bar.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Did you address a challenge with violence or coercion?
Oh, yeah.
Then you may mark an experience point. Did you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background?
No. I didn't struggle with any issues either.
Okay, good though. That's good.
Smash.
Mr. Spider, did you make any desperate action rolls?
I don't think so.
Don't think so. Did you address a challenge with, what is it, conspiracy and...
No, I don't think a lot of calculation went into go to house, kill vampire.
Fair enough. Did you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background?
No.
You don't think so? Okay.
I don't feel I did.
Okay.
I was particularly upper middle class as a working class person, but I don't think that represented anything good about Spider.
Oh my goodness me, my good fellow. And did you struggle with issues from your vice or traumas?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I feel like you did address that challenge. You found the address.
Yeah, but I found it by having tea with an old woman and robbing her.
I didn't have tea with an old woman and robbed her. I'm just saying.
It only has to be to your satisfaction, not to anyone else's.
Okay, if it's not...
It isn't to mine. No XP this week.
That's absolutely fine. So, excellent. You've got your experience points. So we've done that. We'll figure out what the hell reputation is. And then we'll do downtime. Who would like to go first?
Me, I want to flirt with my doctor lady. No, we can just say it happened. I won't flirt with you.
I appreciate that. I'm not big into that sort of thing.
I will, however.
Because I'm a boy.
Hey, babe.
Hey.
Nope.
Mold me like clay.
Still counts. So you're going to go to get your shoulder set.
Mm-hmm.
So you are spending one of your downtime actions recovering.
Yes.
So
how does it work? How do I do this?
So you see next to at the top of your wounds, you've got a project clock for healing, a 4-segment clock.
Mm-hmm.
So you roll the quality level of the NPC. So you roll 1 die, and let me know how that goes.
That's a 6.
That is a 6. You fill 3 segments.
So
when you fill 4 segments, you reduce all harm by 1 level. So level 1 harm obviously disappears, level 2 harm becomes level 1 harm, and so forth.
Oh, so I'm gonna have a dislocated shoulder forever.
No, you can spend your second downtime action recovering.
Oh, now I get it. Okay, let's do that again.
Yep, so roll a die.
And a 1.
And a 1. So that's 1 segment. So there we go. All of your individual harms reduced by 1 level. So it's no longer a dislocated shoulder. It's now simply an aching shoulder.
Okay.
You won't be winning any Olympic javelin medals.
Well, that's a sad time. But you know what? I feel like me and my beautiful doctor got some eyeballs made at each other. It was lovely.
Yes, it does seem as though some sort of advancement is supposed to happen based on your reputation. I don't think you have 12 reputation, do you?
It's all right. We can look at it another time. I've made the notes completely accurately.
Yeah, let's not bog down. If a rule doesn't come to our memory immediately, there's no point dwelling on it. Okay, Mr. Spider, downtime actions.
I'm going to indulge my vice because, hot damn, I got very close to trauma.
Oh yeah,
I like not the trauma.
Mr. Cutter, you have a lot of stress, don't you?
Yeah, this is a bad time for me.
You can spend coin and reputation on additional downtime actions to indulge your vice if you wish to. But let's do Spider first, shall we? Spider, which vice are you indulging? You have 2 to choose from.
I actually think, given how this took up quite a lot of his sort of mental effort, he is going to indulge his obligation.
What is your obligation?
My obligation is, well, it's a sort of tripart obligation, but it fundamentally means that his job is as a sort of low-level, a side-level connectee to the civil service. So I think what it means is he effectively signs out, doesn't go to the Aventine for a little bit, or to the safe house, and will be spending his downtime putting in the extra hours, doing his office translation work, actually showing up to family functions and talking with his father about his future.
Well, no, I think this is a vice. This isn't a time off. You don't get to go, I'm going to have a wholesome time at work and a nice family chat.
Okay, I didn't see it as that. I thought the whole purpose of having an obligation was that you had to give over yourself to the obligation.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is, it's not I work my 9 to 5, then have a nice chat with Dad. It's I'm doing all the overtime. Oh God, I'm just going to distract myself completely.
Sorry, the context being that he was going to do a lot of work which he does alone, and speaking to his father is not a pleasant experience for him because his father is a higher-ranking civil servant who puts pressure on him to succeed.
Okay, fine.
Which he is not doing because he has joined a vigilante supernatural vampire.
Your father is your employee. Your father is your vice purveyor. I thought this was a family obligation thing. I see. No, fine, good. Okay, so yeah, roll that. Roll. What's your lowest attribute? Prowess. You have 1 in prowess. Yes.
Yes.
Why are you not sure?
Well, I just thought I just clicked the indulge vice button.
Yeah. Okay. I think that does it automatically then.
Yeah. I just meant I didn't know what my prowess had to do with it.
It's so when you indulge your vice, you are trying to relieve stress, but your vice is a thing that it's hard for you to stop doing, so it preys upon your greatest weakness.
Okay.
And therefore, whichever resistance you're the least good at, is the resistance that's put in place when you want to stop doing your vice.
Ah, okay.
No
bonus, so I'm just 4.
So you clear 4 stress.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
And of course, you have a second action if you want to indulge further vice.
Yes.
Yes, I think that's probably an idea.
Yeah, I think this downtime is a downtime of
New vice or different vice? Those are the same thing. Same vice or different vice?
Yes, I think having been under the pressure from work, I'm going to swap from obligation to stupor.
Have a quick tincture.
Yeah.
A 7 milligram tincture of cocaine.
Vital to get one through the day.
Medicinal, don't you know?
Medicinal, I got it from the chemist.
Of course you did. Yep, roll-a-vu. 2. So relieve 2 stress.
Okay. How do I get rid of some stress? I have no downtime actions left, so what do I have to do? Because I have 7 stress.
Yeah, absolutely. You are able to spend reputation to gain an additional downtime action.
Okay, where's reputation on this sheet? Because I don't see it.
It's not on yours, it's on the crew sheet.
Ooh.
You are putting the crew's reputation in jeopardy to do this.
Oh.
You can also spend gold.
I don't know if I have gold though.
Oh, it says here improve the results of downtime actions. I was sure you could get an additional downtime action.
So
that
maybe
might
I
actually
don't have one.
No, that might actually be a claim that you can make later on.
Okay, cool. Well then I'm just stressed.
You are just stressed. Next time, next time you're not going to be able to push yourself very much or soak harm very well. So you might get very beaten up indeed.
Well, that's just my luck.
Well, absolutely. Look, you did very well for it just being the 2 of you. There's no point.
Hopefully next time we engage supernatural horrors, Cutter can take a back seat to the front line and.
It's okay. I chopped off a hand. I severed a head.
Look, yeah, absolutely. You're now 3 for 3 on things the party have killed. I think because you finished off Madam Whisper. I think.
Yeah, this is just a wild time all around for me.
Yeah, you're definitely getting closer and closer to the requirements for serial killer.
Oh no.
Only one of them was a person though, so.
Yeah, that's fair. The others don't count.
Interesting. I don't think Ted Bundy thought women were people. Okay, so fuck. I don't mean Ted Bundy. Who was the one?
How about we just move on along here?
Oh, who was the other one? The Chicago one. Anyway, yes. So congratulations. You have acquired a new claim, which means now your name will be spread far and wide every time you complete one of these hunts and leave one of your cards behind.
Good.
It means you also have to leave a body behind. So obviously there are inherent risks there because a body means more heat. But that's not necessarily a problem until it starts becoming a real problem. You haven't a wanted level yet. The police aren't actually looking for you, but they're starting to piece something together.
Well, maybe they shouldn't let vampires run amok in their city. That's not my fault.
Not actually illegal to be a vampire.
It should be at this point.
Maybe it should. Maybe you should run for parliament on a no vampires platform. But thank you very much. You've completed this this mission. You have solved my vampire puzzle. This particular vampire puzzle. There will be future vampire puzzles.
Oh no.
Probably. No, you've killed the king vampire of all of London, and
that's
now they're
what I want to hear. Thank you.
So neatly as we come up towards 7:30, I think that's it for this week's episode of Gentlemen Strangers. Obviously a shorter downtime because there's only 2 of you doing downtime. But that's okay.
Put a bow on it and put it on the mail.
Hopefully 2 weeks from now, on the 27th, we'll have more than 2 people and able to do things without burning through everyone's stress in and out of character. Thank you all so much for watching us and for helping and hindering and for chatting and lurking and all of the things in between that you've been doing. Thank you to everyone who participated in the Gentlemen Strangers Influence Auction. The results of that, of course, are ongoing. We now know who's doing what. I'm going to email you if you're one of the top 3 bidders about the thing you want to do. And you will find out in play, as well as the players, what the orb, the watcher, and the door actually are. It's none of anyone's business. They're going to find out when they find out, and only I and the influencers themselves will know. So I'm going to read out now our list of wonderful patrons. So please drop trash bags, purple hearts, and hype trains in the chat for Amy C, Andre Cherepnine, Araloki, Caffeine Kitty, Diego de los Reyes, Eligos Alexander, Helena Handbasket, Henry Prestige, James Malloy, Joe, Joanna Marsh, Liz Murphy, Lou Sutcliffe, Lucas Justinian, Michael Bowman, Michael Crees, Mike Fielding, Mike Kilburn. Yes, there does need to be a Mike purge. Photosynthetic and Socky. You are all wonderful people. Everyone watching is wonderful people. Someone drop an invite link to our Discord in the chat. If you're not on our Discord, do be on our Discord. Our Discord is great. There will not be a Star Trek Iskander on Tuesday, but we'll be back 2 weeks hence with the next episode of Gentlemen Strangers, and there might be an Iskander on one of the weeks between here and there. So look forward to that. Praxis is going to be running that one.
Oh, I thought it was me.
And
Sorry, I thought so. He's like, what, Pentagon? No, I'm not running it. It's not me.
And we love you very much, and we will see you around.